We know that it's dry. Water levels in wells, as we heard from Cape Breton rivers, starting to get extremely low.
That's right. So I wanted to check in on drought conditions in the Maritime, especially after that month of July that was so dry for us. So I spoke with Trevor Hadwin. He is an agroclimate specialist with the Drought Monitor here in Canada. And here's what he told us about the situation here in the Maritimes.
Dry conditions stretch back a little bit further in Nova Scotia than just the last couple of months. We went into the year fairly dry. Last fall, again, was drier than normal, leaving a little bit of a moisture deficit as we began the season this year. The last 2 months have been fairly dry throughout much of the region, and we've seen moderate drought conditions turn into some areas that have more severe drought. So when we classify drought, we're classifying from abnormally dry all the way to exceptional drought. Moderate drought is our level 1 classification, and then we get into severe drought as our level 2. So we've seen a couple pockets within Nova Scotia and a little bit of New Brunswick that now have severe drought, and much of the province of Nova Scotia is now covered by a moderate drought condition. When we're looking at drought conditions, especially in Atlantic Canada, the definition of drought kind of varies from what we normally think of it in the prairie region or in other regions of Canada. Atlantic Canada does not have as much water supply or soil moisture storage as other regions of the country. So short-term dryness does affect that region a lot more than other regions. So when we're talking about 2 months of below normal precipitation for your region, we're seeing some conditions that we would not normally expect in other regions of the country, including wells going dry, sloughs and wetlands drying up, and lack of surface water supply for the use of within agriculture or even domestic use. The big one in the Atlantic region is we typically don't need to worry about moisture. It's a wet environment, and people have adapted to that region. So again, when you think of the prairie region, our region gets approximately 500 millimeters or under a year. 300 millimeters is not uncommon in our region. 300 millimeters of precipitation in Atlantic Canada would be devastating. We are seeing more frequent and more severe droughts right across the country. We have certainly seen our fair share of droughts in the last 10 years. We've gone through a fairly dry cycle within our climate regime, and we're seeing droughts in areas that we don't typically expect them. So certainly in northern regions of Canada, we don't expect them as much, as well as eastern Atlantic regions.
Yeah, so there you have it, Todd. Just a little bit of an explanation about why things seem to get so dry quickly here in the Maritimes, whereas in some other parts of the country, it seemed to be a little bit more of an extended scenario.
Yeah, I think that's surprising. I've never heard that we actually have, what is it, less water storage in our soil than they would say out west. Yeah, slope of the terrain, the type of soil as well, all goes into factors into basically losing that moisture, evaporating it out of the soil. Speaking with Trevor, he said this is going to be a quick fix to this. We're going to need at least a couple months of some above normal precipitation to, fully recover out of some of the dry conditions that we're in right now. Right. A little bit of shower activity coming up on Thursday. It's not really the significant soaking rain that we need, and I'll be talking more about that when I'm back. Okay, we'll see you for that full forecast in about 15 minutes. Thank you for that. That was really interesting.